Welcome to episode 4 of the Lock On podcast. My name is Kyle Hooper, and we have a new person joining us today for his first time. Of course, we've got Sean, who's been on every episode, and Avery. Welcome.
Hey, Kyle. Nice to be on. How you guys doing?
I'm really good. For anybody that doesn't kind of know what you do, why don't you just give us a little lowdown on?
Yeah, I started providing some content with MP1st back in, I want to say, maybe March, April, maybe. And just here and there, Alex just had me do like opinionated stuff. Not a whole lot. I wrote about battle royales, a lot of them, the complexity of them now that Hyperscape came out over the summer, and then just take a look at other things like the next gen, upgrades, how a lot of them are behind some paywalls. So taking a look at that. And then he started letting me doing some social media stuff. I helped him do some of the COD beta giveaways that I'm sure we'll get into later on. But yeah, and so other than that, I just play out a PlayStation 4, PC, Switch, all the above.
Awesome. Well, we're happy you can hopefully be a regular on the show here. So we got not a ton of news going on this past week. Obviously, a few things here or there. I feel like definitely there's not going to be a whole lot of news until the next gen consoles, which are less than a month away now, are going to be out. So we're going to jump into the first topic, which is the teardown of the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, excuse me, UI as well that came out this week. And I will start with the UI. I think it looks pretty good. It's different. It's the blocky. It really gives me the vibes of the blocky kind of old 360 dashboard, if you guys kind of remember that. I got some really good vibes for it, though. I think PlayStation fans, kind of what I gauged, they really love the simplicity of the PS3 and just be able to find things of the PS3 kind of dashboard. Sean, I'll start with you. What are your kind of initial impressions of what you saw there?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge UI guy. Like, the UI is, as long as it's, if I don't have to think about it too much, then I'm fine. And I haven't really had to think about it too much with the other two dashboards. I like that it's smaller so that you can fit more stuff on the screen so that you can get to games and stuff easier. I couldn't care less about having someone picture-in-picture video of them playing another game while I'm playing a game. Like, that will never be used by me. And there's a lot that they didn't cover, which they said they're going to cover it in the coming weeks. So I'm looking forward. There's more stuff that I want to know that they didn't cover in the video.
Yeah, and to kind of to touch on your point there about the picture-in-picture stuff, I still think that is, like, I understand why they did it. It's simple. You can kind of just, if you need help, it's right there. I still think people are instantly going to go grab their phones, look up a YouTube video. I just think it's ingrained too much in people.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about the hints. I was talking about when it clicks on a friend, your friend sends you like a thing and you click view and you can watch their screen what they're playing.
Oh, okay. Yep.
But I agree with you on that too.
Yeah. Again, I kind of still have the same point of that, is like, I just don't think there's going to be enough people out there that are going to find, like, I like the idea of the feature. I just think it's overcomplicating something or trying to figure out an issue to a problem that not a lot of people have. I don't know. That could just be me. Avery, what do you kind of think in terms of the UI? Are you, you have a PlayStation 4, I would assume. Do you like what's kind of been your favorite UI and what's kind of something that you want to see changed?
I think nowadays, with my console being, I had the PS4 Pro, I got it with the Destiny 2 bundle, so a few years old, and obviously with the wear and tear, things are going to start slowing down. So seeing the quickness of everything was the biggest, attention getter for me. Just like what Sean was mentioning, though, about the whole picture-in-picture, yeah, I think that's kind of useless. I won't really do it a whole lot, just because if I'm playing my own game, then I don't really need to be watching someone else, unless it is something like, hey, my buddy goes, hey, check this out really quick. I just did this really quick play, I'll take a look at it. But he's absolutely right too. Or what you had mentioned about grabbing your phone and still looking things up. look at those hints because it was only with Sackboy. I wonder if that's going to be something that everybody is going to try and implement in their games. I don't know how hard or easy it's going to be. Do you guys know?
They said that it's going to be up to the developers, and it's only going to be select games. Which, here's the thing: I get the idea of why they want to do it. They want to do it to keep you in the PlayStation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I get it. They want to keep you there. However, because it's not going to be universal, people are going to just be like, fuck it, I'll just look it up. Like you said, Kyle, they're just going to, because, okay, that's great, Sackboy. Well, what if there's somebody wants to look up Demon Souls? You know what I mean? Like, and they didn't put that in there for Demon Souls. So then they're going to still go into YouTube to look it up for Demon Souls. You know what I mean? So it's, what they should have done was made it a quicker interface with YouTube.
No, I agree. Just like I mentioned, just kind of solving problems that I feel like don't need to be solved and is my big thing. Now, moving from the UI aspect to it to kind of the teardown we saw, I'm not a huge PlayStation guy, so I'm not sure. I'm kind of coming to you on this, Sean. What do you like about the teardown that happened, and what kind of worries you?
Well, what I liked about it is that it's clearly built to be quiet, and it's that big to be quiet and to be cool. And those are the two biggest and most important things for any console, in terms of how it runs. And obviously the biggest thing is the games, but I mean for like the actual machine itself and how it performs. And it's like, it looks like they have a lot of good solutions in place to make it and keep it as quiet as possible. My only concern, and I know people tell me not to be concerned, but it's still a concern, is that the SSD is like soldered into the motherboard. So if that goes for whatever reason, your console is essentially bricked until you get it fixed. Like on my PlayStation, if my hard drive goes, I can just replace the hard drive. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a simpler solution. Like, I do like the SSD expandable slot being easy to get to, and it's just quick, pop it in. It's just a matter of course, finding out which ones they are compatible. But yeah, so for me, it's just like I accept the form factor if it's going to be quiet and cool.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I agree with. I like that they're kind of making it bigger to deal with that heat and speed noise, because we all know, Avery, I'm sure you can kind of attest to this, the PS4 Pro can still get loud.
It sounds like a fucking jet engine out in my living room. It's crazy.
Yeah, and you know what? And I've got I have the X as well, and I will say I haven't actually had too big of an issue with this Xbox One X with noise. I actually got in a fan attachment just so it makes it a little louder just so it can blow some of that hot air out. But you being with the PS4 Pro, what kind of excites you? You know, something maybe you saw from the PS5 teardown. Was there something that stood out to you?
I mean, I was telling this to Sean before we got started. I'm not really so much interested in the little like the technical things in the console. I mean, he made the two biggest points that's gonna make me happy, and it's the noise and it's the cooling down. You know, it's not gonna get overheated. I'm gonna, go with the benefit of the doubt of what he was talking about, the SSD and everything. If it does get fucked up, then it's going to be maybe really hard to get fixed and replaced. Hopefully there's going to be something down the line that's going to ease that. But if it's going to be faster, quieter, then those are two really important things checked off my list.
Yeah, and I think that pretty much goes for everybody. Just quietness if you're comparing from the PS4, it's quietness and just speed. I know a big thing on social media was the stand. If you wanted to take it off, it is it's a small little bit of work. Obviously, I believe
that's only if you put it in vertical mode first. Like if you just take it out of the box, you just clip it on. I can't see a scenario in which people are going to be going vertical to horizontal enough for that to be a problem.
Yeah, I think the only change would be if you get a new place to put it. I think,
Yeah.
or a new cabinet or
Yeah.
whatever people
And
buy.
then you do
whatever people
and
buy,
then and then you do that screw once, and then you put it in your new cabinet, and then you're done.
and you're done. Exactly.
Like,
It was definitely overblown for sure. Obviously, I think most people kind of saw the Xbox tweet jab at it. Again, that's just social media kind of having fun with it.
Yeah.
I feel like with both of these consoles, there's things that people clown on, especially on social media. It's just easy to do. It riles up the other side. You know how fanboys wars work for sure. But yeah, I think we're excited. I still believe that Sony is still drip feeding the information a little too slow for my liking. Sean, you kind of feel the same way? Or are you happy with the info you're getting?
Well, the only time it's annoyed me was this with the UI, because there's a lot of stuff about the user experience that I don't know why you just didn't show that. Like, I want to know how quickly I can go back and forth to games. How many games can I go back and forth to?
Mm-hmm.
To me, if because Xbox, I think somebody I saw had did up to 6 games.
Yeah.
And it's like, in my mind, it's like, if you can't top that, there's no point in talking about it. So they didn't talk about it. But it's just like, my own thing is I hate obfuscation. I don't like PR bullshit. Just say you can only switch between 2 games. That's fine. I usually don't play more than 2 games anyway. But just tell us, like, don't leave this like thing. And then they're like, and there was one thing where they were like, we can go to the store and buy a game. And I'm like, but they didn't show us do that. They didn't show him actually purchase a game and then start it up or do anything. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was just weird how they did it. That's the only time it's been annoying to me, is that, like, if I don't like when you only show part of it. Like, show me the whole thing. That video could have been 5 minutes longer to show me more details. I want to know how sharing works for video. Does Share Factory still exist? Because I use the shit out of Share Factory. So it's just like little things like that I feel like could have been in this video. Or at least they could have released a series of videos for each specific thing, because people who watched them. So yeah, that was the only time. Otherwise, it doesn't really bother me, because to me the most important thing is the games, and they showed the games. They showed games running on the PS5 many times, and that's to me the most important thing. But this is standard. I mean, if Xbox wasn't working at a different cadence because they didn't have, let's be real. Xbox has something to prove. You know what I mean? They really do, and they want to do it. And the reality is they don't have the first-party games to show, so they have to show everything else that you're going to benefit from getting this console on day one. But Sony doesn't have to do that for several reasons. One, they're in the lead. They have their own marketing plan. They don't have to respond to everything. But it was just this one thing where I feel like you could have given us a little bit more information.
No, I agree 100% with you. It is really funny to kind of see, especially with this generation, just 2 massively different marketing strategies between both of these companies. It's really honestly interesting to watch from a consumer, because they're both game consoles, but they're preaching such different messages. And I think we're going to continue to see it throughout the generation, because Microsoft is playing that software, big conglomerate kind of, we've got all of these services, we got cloud gaming, we've got, bring everything over with you, where Sony is definitely preaching. Yes, they want to kind of copy Microsoft to an extent with the bring everything over with you, we have services, but they are definitely sticking to their old school, and there's nothing wrong with that old school mentality of, we've got exclusive games. This is the only place you can play them. Look how cool they are. Buy our console because of it. And that's definitely a strategy that's worked for them pretty much every time. So I definitely see why they would continue to stick with it. And you know what? Kind of moving on. Speaking of games, the Black Ops Cold War beta and alpha have come out over the last little bit there. Have you guys both had a chance to play them?
Let me just. I want to hear what Avery thinks of the same question that you asked me about. Sony's drip feed information.
Yeah.
About the what was it?
The way they've been, Sony has been revealing information.
Oh, about the information. Yeah. I mean, so like looking at the year and the scope of with the pandemic and everything, and so I think the information that's being maybe trickled out might be a little bit different than a normal year, because we may have saw some of this stuff around E3 or just earlier in the summer. So looking at what Sony's been doing, I mean, yeah, Sean, you're right about the UI. Like they could have showed us more things in that video. But from the standpoint, like you said, like they showed us the games running and seeing, just getting a taste of that. Like, yeah, it's a good thing that's coming. We got that before the console's released, but at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff was shown, it's not going to sway someone that they're not going to like say, well, I'm not going to buy a PlayStation because of that. I'm not going to buy an Xbox because they didn't show me this or that. At the end of the day, it's kind of pennies to the dollar. It doesn't really matter. They told us, the information. It would be weird if they didn't. So, but that Sean made a good point though about like Xbox showing that they can switch to like 6 games, and Sony didn't show anything about that. So it just tells you that that's something that they probably didn't do as well as
they showed it switching to 1 game, and it
right.
from that, but they didn't go back. They didn't go like they could have said, okay, now we're going to go to Godfall. They didn't do any of that. So to me, that says you don't have an answer for it, so you're not answering at all.
Right. And so, but yeah, I mean, with the information coming out, we're getting down to, we're less than 30 days away now. So
I'm so fucking excited.
Right. And, I mean, now I'm just more worried about whether my pre-order gets here on time, whether or not you need to keep double checking on that. So the accessories, yeah, I still need to order that stuff too. So,
I don't know if you heard, but those are getting sent out early.
Are they like still in stock in a lot of places?
The accessories are being sent out early.
Okay.
Yeah,
maybe I'll take a look.
Kind of help with that rush essentially for the retail stores, because I would assume that COVID has to have kind of a impact there, because I'm assuming Sony's probably looking at this, okay, like, oh my God, the amount of people that are going to be in stores trying to get accessories and their consoles on the same day, that's going to take forever under COVID-19 protocols that a lot of places have. So sending it out early does kind of help those people that trickle into your Best Buys, your GameStops, to look, and it's like, a PlayStation controller is already here. I'm going to pick that up now.
Exactly.
So definitely helps with that. So anyway, continuing what the last topic I had brought up there, the Black Ops Cold War beta is out. Have both of you guys had a chance to play it?
Avery said earlier that when you were talking to your roommates, but that he hasn't, but I did.
Okay.
So funny. The other day, last weekend, I played the beta, and I went, I started with VIP. My first game, I was the VIP, and I went 4-0. I just killed like 4 out of 6 dudes on their team with just my pistol. And I was like, oh, this is great. And then like yesterday I played, and it was like a completely different game. I got my ass kicked. I got some kills, but holy shit, the other team was on it. Like I started as a VIP, and I just saw that there was like, because the mini map works this time, it's not just like whenever somebody shoots a gun, but it does work when you shoot a gun. So I saw like all these people on the right side by B. So I just went to A and just like fucking like escorted myself out of there. I'm sure my team was pissed because they probably wanted kills, but I was like, I don't give I just want to win. And I just fucking like took off. And then after that, I just got my ass kicked.
I would say, so I've been playing the beta. I'm on Xbox, so I just got access to the beta yesterday afternoon, and I can say that it's a solid, it's your Call of Duty experience. You kind of know what you're getting. But, I think the elephant in the room for this game, and, it was even trending on Twitter. That's how many people were talking about it, is the skill-based matchmaking. And being the massive Call of Duty fan that I am, I've been playing since Call of Duty Finest Hour on the GameCube. That was my first Call of Duty. Activision isn't going to get rid of it. Everyone just needs to accept it. They're not going to get rid of it. We come from a time in gaming where I'm sure all of us jumped on our first, online game, Halo 2, Halo 3, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, whatever it is, multiplayer game, and you got your ass kicked. But you learned from the experience to get better. And you'd have games where you join and you'd be like, wow, I just went 30-2. I'm amazing. And you join other games where, oh crap, I got my ass kicked by this team. I went 10-30. That's just natural game progression. That's anything in life. The more you do, the better you get at it. And my biggest issue with this is I destroy people. You know, it was a perfect example. I log in, destroy kids for the first couple of games. The skill-based matchmaking kicks in, and from here on out, I'm going to be playing the sweat fest. You know, if I'm not on my peak, if I'm not leaning forward, if I don't have my headset cranked up, I'm going to lose most of my gunfights. And like I said, Activision will never change it. We just need to accept it. It's just because it keeps people on longer. It keeps casual players on longer when they're not getting their asses kicked in domination or TDM or whatever. And through the magic of the internet, we have our fourth contributor joining, Tim.
Hello.
But he got here. Tim,
Hey there.
have you had a chance to play the Call of Duty beta?
No, I haven't yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to pre-order it yet.
Yeah.
It's free. It's open.
Is it?
It's an open beta all weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will be downloading that.
Last weekend was the one you had to pre-order.
Yeah.
Okay, I was under the impression that you had to pre-order. Okay, then yes, I'll definitely be hopping on this weekend.
And it's cross-play.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So that was.
I do have an opinion on the skill.
Yeah, go for it.
I think that's only a problem if you're one of those people that likes to trick the system and just waylay new guys.
Okay. I like this because I disagree wholeheartedly with that.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. And it's a fair argument. Obviously, you want to win every game. That's the goal of a multiplayer.
100%.
Yeah.
My counter argument to that is still, I'm never going to get a chance to lay waste to everybody if the skill-based matchmaking tells me I'm not allowed to. That's my problem with it. You look at games that have taken it out in the community, like Destiny 2, for a lot of people that don't know this, Destiny 2, I would say about half a year ago, took out skill-based matchmaking from their game. The community loved it. Skill-based matchmaking, all it does is it keeps you with your own player, like your skill level, the entire time, which is, in your head, that's great. But in the old day, your Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, you would get games that you had to sweat, but it would also be mixed in with games that you would destroy people. Like, it was a good mixture. And if you were good, you deserve to get, you deserve to smack kids, essentially.
Yeah, there was definitely no skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty and Modern Warfare, in Call of Duty 4 or Modern Warfare 2, because my friends and I ruined people's nights.
And you know what? I
ruined
agree.
Their nights.
And I'm the same way. Because you're in a party, you're communicating.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's communication is half the battle with Call of Duty. But obviously, most of the time, nobody's communicating because it's definitely one of those games you can play solo. Again, huge problem with Call of Duty is still that I would say, objectively, since Black Ops 2, they've yet to install or put a ranked matchmaking. Like, if people want to sweat and have their rank, put a ranked mode. Put a ranked playlist. I don't understand how that's so difficult. Leave public matches to be public. Again, this is just me ranting. I know they're not going to.
I suppose that's fair. I suppose that is fair.
Yeah.
I think that would probably be a more suggestible solution.
For sure.
But I also think that it would be, because I tend to find myself constantly running into people better than me.
Yeah.
And it would be nice if I felt like I was even matched with people more often than I am. Right?
Well, then you're going to love this game.
Yeah, no, like I said, I agree, but it just brings me back to my original point of, with those old games, like your old Call of Duties, your old Halos, that's just how you learn to get better. That's like anything in life. You learn to get better by losing. You learn to get better. If I was playing against people, if they had skill-based matchmaking back in, say, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, I would have never learned to.
Did they use what? There was a couple of games that used the true skill ranking that was kind of skill based.
I think it might have been Halo, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Halo 3 used the true skill ranking.
No, Halo was ranked because you could go up and you could lose rank.
Yes.
Right.
Like, it's in Call of Duty, the reason why they don't do ranked is because you can gain a rank no matter what. You go up in rank no matter what. It's not based on how well you do. It's just when you have accumulated enough points to level up.
It's all based on how much time you play with XP.
Yeah. In Halo, it was like, no, you would lose games. If you lost enough games, you would go down in rank.
Yeah.
In Halo 3, at least. That's how it was when we played it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I wanted to know, Avery, have you ever I know you didn't play this beta, but do you play Call of Duty at all, or multiplayer, online multiplayer at all, or?
Yeah, I do. I used to be good. Now I just suck ass. So, no, I mean, yeah, I every single year, like I would tell myself, no, I'm not getting caught. I'm not getting caught. I'm not going to get pulled back into it, and then sure enough, I do. I mean, now that I didn't know that the beta was open, so maybe I will possibly download it and just check it out. But I'm in this weird, like, I don't know, like transition where my PC's coming on like 3 years old. So it's like when I try and play Warzone, I have to drop it to the lowest settings. But then my PS4 is, kind of trash now. So it's like waiting for the PS5 now. So it's like this weird, I don't know where to be playing stuff to try and maximize my quality of gaming. But I've done my fair share of Warzone. I've, crapped out at 2-3 kills a match. So when Kyle mentioned about people getting better at games and they keep trying, that doesn't apply to me. I like to watch people's streams and think, you know what, I can do that. Hop on, get my ass beat down. So I mean, I like to try and play every once in a while, but I'm not as diehard of COD. But back in the day with Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, that was where it's at. 1v1 Rust.
And I will say, the perfect counterpoint to everything that I've been saying, because I do like to play devil's advocate when it comes even to my own points. We have to remember as a collective group and people that enjoy playing Call of Duty, that this is a game series that has more or less been the same in terms of gameplay and how it works since 2007. And people have had years to hone their skills, to become better, to know how to do drop shotting and jump shotting and all the things that you do in Call of Duty. So to that point, I think, you go online and you go on Twitter and people are complaining about skill-based matchmaking. To an extent, I definitely believe that. I just think people that are still playing COD, I don't believe there are too many, I haven't played Call of Duty in 5 years, I think I'm going to pick this one up. I think it's I bought COD every year. I'm going to buy it this one. I know what I'm getting with it.
Well,
that's what I was last year.
I do think I do think there was people who fell off until Modern Warfare.
For sure.
I absolutely believe, because Modern Warfare is the most successful Call of Duty game to date, the new one, and it's supposedly significant. Like the jump was significant.
Yeah.
And that's because people were lapsed. They didn't like even though I can't believe that Infinity Ward made Modern Warfare when the last game they made was Infinite Warfare, which was the campaign was good, but the multiplayer was utter trash. That was the shortest I've ever played a Call of Duty multiplayer, was that one. No, that's not true. World War II, I played like 2 matches. I didn't like that game at all. But I think a lot of people fell off. I think Black Ops is going to bring even more people back.
Yeah. Now, do you think that's a little bit? I think it's fair to say that the successful Call of Duty, that definitely has a Warzone impact, I would say.
I hate Warzone.
I know you do, but you have to admit that it has brought in a lot of people, because your regular Call of Duty schedule, I guess, would say, was everyone gets a game in October, November, and by March, a lot of people have fallen off of it. Warzone, I would say, has extended Modern Warfare's enjoyment for a lot of people way beyond where your regular schedule, Call of Duty experience takes you. A lot of people, it's still a very popular game. You don't want to look at Twitch too much for analytics, but it's still a very popular game on Twitch. A lot of big streamers still play it. And that's kind of a gauge of what the whole community in general has been enjoying. So I would say Warzone is definitely a big aspect of Modern Warfare's success, for sure.
I was one of those people. I haven't played. The last Call of Duty I played was Black Ops 1, the first Black Ops. Mm-hmm. I was a Halo kid. I played Modern Warfare 2. and then Black Ops came out, and people were still flying high on Modern Warfare 2, so I got it to play with friends. That was the last one I played. And while some of the campaigns interested me over the years, the multiplayer hasn't looked that interesting to me since, until last year. And I was like, this looks pretty good, so I got it. And it is super dope to be excited about Call of Duty again. It's super weird, like how much of a throwback it is. Like they were able to grab some more lightning after more than a decade. So I do think I suspect that Black Ops does have a chance to be bigger than last year's game, but we'll see if Warzone can carry a tide.
So for our last kind of topic for this episode, obviously there's not a whole lot of news other than the PlayStation teardown, which isn't the most exciting thing. I just want to talk about what we're playing right now, because I've actually found myself recently looking through the games that I want to play, like especially single player games, and been like, oh, it's a downtime, I should play it. And then holding off and being like, ooh, I really want to play this when I get my Series X or PS5 on it. I want to see the visual upgrades. I want to see what they do with it. I'm mostly kind of playing just multiplayer games right now because I'm really dumb and I buy too many battle passes for games, and it feels very obligated to finish those battle passes, so I don't feel like I wasted my money. Avery, I'm going to start with you. Kind of what are you playing right now, and are you in that mindset of do you want to hold anything back to try it on the new system, or are you whatever, I'm going to play it, and I might play it again on the new system anyway?
Yeah, so right now I am playing Genshin Impact on PS4. I would like to write a review for the site for that. I'm about maybe 15 to 20 hours into it. It's kind of I don't know if you guys have seen any videos or any news about it. Obviously, I mean, I'm sure you have, but it's a very Breath of the Wild, type where you can climb anything. A lot of the same, just general mechanics of Breath of the Wild. You have a party of 4 different people with different elemental skills, and some people use swords, bow and arrows, magic, and it's really cool like that. Great story, original story. It's not based off of any other type of like anime or manga or anything like that. And so I've been playing through that. My girlfriend's also playing it too, so it's really fun. Both of us playing on PC and PS4. We've been playing. I still play League of Legends. I do that with my friends. We are also been playing a lot of Among Us. I'm gonna play that tonight, so that'll be fun. But other than that, I just finished with Avengers a few weeks ago, like the campaign. I did some endgame stuff, but we were discussing that before that. That game's pretty much dead in the water. And then besides that, yeah, with next gen stuff, there's gonna be some games like Watch Dogs is gonna come out, the end of the month. That's something where I may just wait until PS5, because there's really no point. I mean, it's gonna be a couple weeks after that, so at that point, I'm just gonna prioritize.
It was on a previous episode actually that I did bring up that Watch Dogs, in my opinion, should have been left for a launch game. I understand Assassin's Creed is there, but I feel like there's enough there that people would buy both, or people would buy. I feel like they've done enough to differentiate themselves from, obviously the first Watch Dogs kind of felt like a modern Assassin's Creed, but I think they've definitely done enough with their new systems that it feels very next gen. So that's really good to hear, especially with the all the multiplayer games right now, especially Among Us. It still is crazy. I feel like there's going to be so many things even studied and written about how just this game, you don't hear about it too often. It just comes out of absolutely nowhere after it's been out for 2 years. It's crazy to me. Tim, what do you kind of got going on the go in terms of games, and is there anything you're waiting to play specifically on next gen?
Yeah. I'm playing through Cloudpunk right now for the site, doing the review for that. I have not been blown away by it so far. I've played about an hour and a half of it. I think it could have, nothing against the developers. It probably could have used a few more $1,000 worth of production budget. But I'm playing through that. The aesthetic's super cool. I like the aesthetic of it. It's like 3D pixel art kind of thing. And then I recently bought, I think it's called Mars Chronicles, or just Mars. It was a Xbox 360 RPG. It was on sale on the digital store for $2. So I grabbed that. I'm going to be trying that out this weekend, as well as playing some more Hitman 2, as always, like always, and then trying out the COD beta. As for games that I'm waiting for, I can't say there's anything right now that I'm going to wait for the Series X for specifically. If I were definitely getting a Series X on launch day, I'm an Xbox guy. I think we've established that, but so there's very little chance I'll get a PlayStation 5 before I get the Xbox. I probably would wait for Watch Dogs Legions. Honestly, the only thing that's coming out this year that I think I'd really like to see on the next-gen hardware is Cyberpunk. But the next-gen version, I don't think they've even announced details for it yet, have they? So I can wait on that. And then, and Call of Duty too, but I'm confident enough that Call of Duty will run well on an Xbox One that I'm okay waiting for it. It's not a day one purchase.
Yeah, just playing the beta, I can definitely tell that it was not designed for next gen. Just looking at the graphics, even compared to Modern Warfare, just comparing it even to Modern Warfare, it definitely doesn't hold up as well. And I do have some sympathy for Treyarch because I feel like Activision threw them into this almost impossible spot of, yes, you were supposed to be next year, but we're going to take Sledgehammer off and you need to come up with a game in 9 months and have it ready for full release. That's got to be super difficult to do. So I definitely emphasize,
probably.
but yeah, it's definitely
visually, it's definitely a step back.
yeah. And
Really? Okay.
yeah. And
look at all the trailers. They don't look nearly as good as the stuff in Modern Warfare.
no,
Like in the campaign stuff.
Yep.
Campaign looks.
Well, hasn't Treyarch's always like graphically, like the details been lower, but the effects have been higher, like the fire and stuff?
Black Ops 2, I think, comparing Black Ops 2 to Modern Warfare, Black Ops 2 is definitely a step up. I think it just comes down to how much time you have and what kind of game you're building. This is the same thing that reminds me of Call of Duty Ghost, where Call of Duty Ghost didn't really look that good, and they tried to make it look really good. But it was specifically, it's not built for next gen. Infinity Ward's next game, whether it be Modern Warfare 2 or whatever they decide to do, I think that's going to be the game that's kind of going to blow us away. It's like, okay, this is like next gen graphics for Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But Sean, kind of moving on to you, is there anything that you're waiting to play specifically on next gen, and what are you playing right now?
Well, I'm an idiot, and I volunteered to review G.I. Joe.
You were excited about that too.
Well, I grew up on G.I. Joe. I love the comic books. I love the cartoons. I collected the figures when I was a kid. Like, I love G.I. Joe. And I was more of a fan of the comics. I mean, people don't know this, but the Larry Hama comics were dark. People died. Like, they weren't lasers and people parachutes jumping out like the cartoon is. This is more based on the cartoon. The problem I have with the game is that it's so basic. Like, they had the G.I. Joe license, and like almost every character plays exactly the same. The only difference is based on like how much damage they can take and the gun they're using. Like, that's pretty much the only difference. And they each have an ultimate, but they're negligible. Like, nothing explains to you what they do. Like, I have no idea what Scarlet has a spear that she puts down and this shield comes over her. And I'm assuming you do more damage when you're standing in the spear, but it didn't really feel much different than the damage I did after. It definitely doesn't protect you from damage. It doesn't heal you. So I have no idea what it does. It doesn't explain anything. There's nothing in the like character select menu that says what their ultimate is or anything, you know? You know how like in Destiny, when you go over when you're picking the ultimate, it says this is what this does, you know? Like, it doesn't have anything like that. Most of the missions are go from point A to point B, kill a bunch of bad guys, press a button, kill a bunch of bad guys that come in, spawn in, then move on to the next area, or press this button and stay in this circle while it uploads. Like, it almost feels like a half-assed like game as a service that was put into a really low-budget G.I. Joe game. And I have to point this out because this is really funny. This is an actual dialogue exchange between Baroness and Destro. She says, "I can't believe you let them escape." And he says, "Oh, don't blame it on me. you were there too. And she says, be that as it may, we can't let them escape. What? You just said, we can't believe you let them escape. And then you just turn around and say, we can't let them escape. Well, did they escape or not? Like, it's just like that. And it's just like, and it sucks because I was like, fuck, man, I have to finish this game. And it's just so basic. That almost sounds like a translation issue. Like it was written in a different language. No, they probably just didn't have time to edit. Cause like there's not a budget in this game. Like there's no, the cutscenes are basically drawings. Like you ever see like a motion comic? Like the insurance commercials? It's like a motion comic. Like he'll be running and then it'll like you'll hear the footsteps, but it's just him like drawn like he's running. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they have voiceover and stuff. And I just wish they put a little time in. Like Storm Shadow's a ninja. There should be a stealth mission. You know what I mean? Like, but there's not. Storm Shadow just runs around like every other guy shooting a gun. I'm a fucking ninja. Why am I shooting a gun? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like the little things like that they just didn't take into like account. Like, it's or maybe they took it into account. They just didn't have the budget. There's a great G.I. Joe game waiting to be made. This is not it. And it's called Rainbow Six Siege.
Well, I mean, I want to feel bad.
No, you don't feel bad. I volunteered.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say you picked it. So
regarding the other half of that question, regarding the other half of that question, I am getting Watch Dogs in 2 weeks, and I'm not going to wait because Watch Dogs is my most anticipated game. I want to play it as soon as, because I've been wanting to play that game since it was announced. So I'm going to play it on the PS4. I might, upgrade it and continue to play it on PS5, but I'm starting right away on PS4. Plus, like I said last week, Demon's Souls is day one.
Are you reviewing it? Are you reviewing it for the second?
Yeah, I'm reviewing Watch Dogs, but I don't know if we're going to get a review copy. I might be just reviewing.
Copy. I guess my next question, my question would be, are you going, when you play it on the PS4 and some things don't work well, are you going to give it the benefit of the doubt if you are writing the review and wait to see the PS5 version? Or are you going to split your review up into two?
Nope. I'm going to review the PS4 version because that's what I'm playing. And then if I play the PS5 version, I'll play the PS5 version and update it later with like, this is my experience playing on the PS5. But I don't believe in that benefit of the doubt shit. This is the game you released on day one. This is the game I'm reviewing.
Very true. Very true. I like that. So yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Obviously a shorter and quieter news week than I'm pretty sure we can expect this probably up until the launch of these consoles.
Don't say that.
I know.
It's not true.
Knock on wood for sure. So I just want to bring it back. Avery, what are you working on right now? And where can people
Wait. I do have one thing I want to talk about.
Yep.
I'm going to ask you guys.
Yep.
So you had the previews for the Yakuza Like a Dragon and Dirt 5. We didn't talk about that last week.
We didn't, no. If I'm being honest, I haven't watched it.
The news is it's not bad, but it's not what you want to see for a Series X being like, these are the first two next gen, quote unquote next gen, they're cross gen games.
Yeah.
They said, everything I read said that there's very few like next gen-ish things about it. I do know Dirt 5 plays in 120 frames mode, but it takes a major hit in terms of graphics. Like all the people are gone, like a lot of the detail is gone, the extra detail on the sides and stuff like that. Did anyone else watch any of that stuff? The two Xbox guys in this podcast, I watched it, but not the two Xbox guys.
I think it just comes
down to like, I don't follow either of those series.
Yeah, I think that's honestly what it came down to for me too. It's just I've never been a Yakuza guy, and no offense to people that really enjoy Dirt, but it's Forza or bust for me. I understand that.
Yep. But
But next gen. But
I
next gen.
said last week that I hate racing games.
I know
and
you
I still
and
watched
you still
it.
watched it.
And I
Fair
don't
enough.
play Yakuza either. Like you got to, like, yeah, you got to go watch that stuff.
Yeah, we will.
Because I want your opinion on this stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking I'll watch it, and we'll definitely that'll be our first topic for I think next week. Is I do want to comment on because it's funny because I'm an Xbox guy and I feel like I know more about what the PlayStation next gen games are looking and feeling like compared to Xbox.
Because
but
like I said, they've been showing PS5 games running on PS5.
Exactly.
Yeah, they haven't shown any
So
exclusive.
I think I'm going to watch that, and that'll be the first topic of next week's show.
All right.
But
I tell you what, Sean. If the next time Rockstar releases a preview for their next Midnight Club game, I promise you, I will have incredible depth of thought for that.
That's never happening. That is never happening. There's no money
don't you,
Midnight Club for them.
Sean? Don't you give up on me, man. we
remember when Rockstar actually gave a shit? Like they put out Warriors, they had
too much money.
Bully, they had the fucking Manhunt games, like like fucking Max Payne, like they used to give a shit,
dude.
man.
Max Payne 3 was so good.
Max
Payne 3 was so good.
The topic is we're saying goodbye.
that is the topic. All right. Ramblings aside, I honestly I enjoy the ramblings. I think we all do it, and I think that's why we enjoy games so much at the end of the day. Avery, what are you working on right now? Where can people find you?
So again, just trying to get through Genshin Impact. It's one of those games where you have like your own player level, but then you also have like an adventure rank. And so I just finally got to rank 23. So it's like unlocking the next main story mission. So now I'll be able to advance more into that. So hopefully I'll start getting a review started up about that. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter at coffeeblock_910. I mainly talk about games and sports on there. So yeah, it's been fun hanging out with you guys on here, and I'll obviously be back next time you guys have me.
Perfect. I love to hear it. Tim, how about you? What are you working on right now? Where can people find you?
Yeah, I am working on the review for Cloudpunk. That should be up within I just started it last night, but it should be up within a few days. It's an indie game. It shouldn't be overly long. And then I'm working on a feature that don't want to reveal too much about yet, but that's going to be going up soon. I am still not on Twitter, and I still only have a private Facebook. So as it stands, if you live in the Colorado area, we might run into each other at the supermarket.
Perfect. I'm sure everyone will be checking out a couple supermarkets then for you. And Sean, last but not least, what are you working on? Where can people find you?
You can look forward to my G.I. Joe review. And, again, you can find me on Twitter, N2Another. That's the letter N, the number 2, the letter N, the word other on Twitter. And that's also my PSN and Xbox Live name.
Perfect. And my name is Kyle. I just tossed up the old review for Star Wars Squadron, which I haven't talked about. Maybe I'll talk about it next week a little bit, but I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I thought it was great. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at hoopstar245. And yeah, I think that's it for episode number 4 for the Lock On podcast. And we will see you guys next week.